my screen. Hopefully you can see this on our screen. It's pretty self-evident what it is. Digital Bill of Rights for the protection of individual privacy and freedom. That is the you can call that the long title. The short title is the Digital Bill of Rights 2026. You can see that we wrote this on March 14th, 2023. So 3 years of this has been there, and we want as many people in Restore Britain and the senior members to understand what this is. And this is English. You can see that there are 2 dragons standing there holding the English shield with Lex Terrae, the Latin underneath. But let's get to the actual what this actually says, because it's really important that people understand it. Now, we are seeking for this to be a constitutional law, constitutional statute. So I'll go on by reading this. The preamble, so in other words, this tells you what we're seeking to achieve and what the problem is. Recognizing the need for protection of individual privacy and freedom in the digital age. This Bill of Rights is established to secure the rights of all individuals against any infringement of their digital identity and to prohibit the use of harmful digital technologies. Prohibition of digital currency. The use of digital currencies that allow for the tracking and monitoring of financial transactions is prohibited. It is strictly forbidden to create a CBDC, physical cash, whether gold coins, silver or paper money, must never be removed from the citizens' use. In other words, what the citizens choose as their currency, they may use. Right to digital identity. Every individual has the right to control and protect their digital identity. This includes, but is not limited to, their DNA, facial identifiers, voice print or pattern, fingerprints, retina scans, and gait. Gait is the way that you walk. The use of any form of biometric data must be with the explicit consent of the individual concerned. It is in effect your copyright. It is not owned by the government. God gave it to you for a reason. Prohibition of harmful digital technology, the use of any digital technology that can cause harm to individuals, including but not limited to psychological warfare, manipulation, and exploitation, is prohibited. So, in other words, they cannot use AI-generated propaganda, lies. They cannot use listening devices on your computers to see what you've been talking about. So if you start saying, I want a new car and I fancy a Volvo, all of a sudden you'll get all of these different references come up, right? So that's on there as well. The right to privacy. Every individual has the right to privacy in their digital communications, including emails, phone calls, and online activities. The collection, monitoring, or inception of such communications without a warrant or consent is prohibited, right? So if they get a warrant and there is probable cause to say that you are doing something that is, really bad and against the state's interest, for example, or the realm's interest, they could get a warrant. But other than that, they would have to ask your permission. The right to digital due process. This is really important. Every individual has the right to due process in the digital world, including the right to a fair trial and legal representation in a physical court with human jurors, judges, and representatives, including common law lawyers not governed by the bar. So people like me and people like the audience that are watching this now. Now, remember that they're trying to bring in trials where the judge doesn't have to be in the court. How do you know that that judge is not AI generated? You don't. So I'm hoping everyone is listening and understands. We wrote this 3 years ago, and there's things that are coming out now, and this will protect you in the future. This is why this really does need to be sent as a video to anybody that's got any involvement with Restore Britain. Prohibition of data misuse. The misuse or unauthorized sharing of an individual's personal data is prohibited, including data collected by governments, corporations, and any other entities. The right to informational self-determination. Every individual has the right to control the use of their personal data, including the right to know what data is being collected and the right to demand its deletion. Prohibition of digital surveillance. The use of digital surveillance technologies, including facial recognition, for the purposes of identifying and tracking individuals without their consent or warrant, is prohibited. The right to encryption. Every individual has the right to use encryption technologies to protect their digital communications and data. Prohibition of harmful AI. The development and use of artificial intelligence that can cause harm to individuals or groups, including autonomous weapons, drones, is prohibited. Tell me if you agree with this by putting an English flag up. Principle of individual sovereignty. All biometric data is unique to the individual and is considered their sovereign property. The collection or use of such data for any purpose without the individual's explicit consent is prohibited. The right to digital literacy. Every individual has the right to access and acquire digital literacy skills to protect their digital identity and privacy. The use of psychographic profiling and targeted advertising to manipulate individuals into making decisions against their own interests or to influence their political views without their knowledge or consent. This type of manipulation undermines the principles of free and fair elections and infringes on individuals' rights to privacy, autonomy, and freedom of thought. Therefore, such practices should be prohibited and subject to legal penalties. No government or non-governmental organisation, charity or otherwise, of like nature can interfere with the international human rights of self-determination of a country and its people by digital means or any other means. That means the algorithms have to be switched off when obviously they're closing us down for what we stand for. This Digital Bill of Rights establishes the rights of individuals to protect their digital identity and privacy in the digital age. It also prohibits the use of harmful digital technology and establishes the principle of individual sovereignty over biometric data. So if everyone agrees with that, that link is there. We wrote that 3 years ago. Many of the things that you are now seeing in the news reference drones, automated targeting, AI systems being used to target Iran, drone systems targeting individuals they don't know whether it's friend or foe in Russia and Ukraine, and all of those weapon systems are now being publicly used. People know they're being used. And what we're saying is the machines are dangerous, AI is dangerous, and we need a digital bill of rights that stops this type of thing from happening. So just to make sure everyone understands, there it is. We've put that information out there. And again, there it is, the digital bill of rights for the protection of individual privacy and freedom. We wrote that in March 2023. And I mean it wasn't just me. And there it is. So everyone understands that it is there. And it should be sent, in my opinion, to restore Britain. Because I think Rupert Lowe is the type of person that would put that to good effect. Now, don't think.
The English Constitution is the solution, always has been and always will be.